In this video, we are going to see ServiceNow interview questions that are that are mostly asked during ServiceNow interviews. Okay, so this is you can say my personal experience that I'm sharing with you guys. So the first question is, what are different types of scripts used in ServiceNow? So basically, when we are scripting in ServiceNow, we have two types of scripts. First is client-side script, and the second one is server-side script. So when we are talking about client-side script, then we have client scripts, and then we can write a script in UI policy also. So in UI policy, the script needs are very less, you can say, but most of the client-side scripts are written in client scripts. And when we are talking about server-side scripts, then we have business rules, then we have script includes, then we have script actions, then we have schedule job also. Okay, so these are present for server-side script. So when the interviewer is asking this question, so you have to describe in this way with all the examples that I'm telling you right now. Okay, so client-side script you can tell client script and server-side script, business rules script includes script action and schedule job also. These are the places where you can write the codes which can run on server side, which can contact the database tables. Okay, so this is the first question. Now moving on, second question is what is business rule and what are its types? So the answer will be business rules are server side scripts which runs when any insert or update or delete or query operation occurs on database tables. Okay, and the types of these business rules are before business rule, after business rule, async business rule, and display business rule. Okay, so when you are explaining this, the better way is to tell that there are four types before, after, async, display, which runs on insert, update, delete, and query operation. We have to include this. Okay, so uh, it tells the interviewer that you know, okay, when it is going to run. So this is there. Now, when you are telling this before business rule, after async display, you should know what are these. Okay. So for brief explanation, I can explain this. Before business rule runs when the database operation, the action in database has not taken place. Okay. Let's say there is, I'm taking one example where we will see all these business rules. So let's say for there is one scenario in which when uh, incident form is getting submitted, okay, let's say it is getting updated or saved. So one business rule should run and it should check that for the same caller there should not be any other incident. Okay, so incident is getting saved, incident form is getting saved, and before it is getting saved in the database, so before that, okay, this business rule will run before business rule, and after business rule, as per the name, it will run when database operation is completed. So let's say incident updation is complete and it is saved in the database. After that, whatever uh, requirement we have, we can write in this business rule and that script will run. Okay, async business rule is very similar to after business rule. So we will discuss it in the next question. And display business rule is again we are going to see that. So these are the questions actually that can be asked. So third question is what is the difference between after and async business rule? So the major difference between after and async business rule is when after business rule runs, it will execute all the process. Then only it will give the control back to the user. So for example, if we have one requirement that whenever one incident is getting created, After that, when it is stored in database, then we have to update 10,000 records. So in that case, after business rule will take so much time, right? And the user will see the slowness in the process. Therefore, we this async business rule will come in use. And what it does, it will run asynchronously in the backend, and the control will be given to user back again. So the user will not see any slowness in process, and the user will be able to do other activities. And all the activities written in this script or the process will be executed in the backend asynchronously. So this is the main difference, and this is the most asked ServiceNow interview question. So the interviewer will ask this question. Definitely, the probability is 90 to 95% for this question. Okay, moving on. The next question is, what is display business rule? Display business rule runs after the data is read from the database and before the form is presented back to the user. So now the last question is, what is G underscore scratchpad variable? So last question was display business rule. In that we have to use this G underscore scratchpad variable. So what it does, it is like a link. So it passes information from server to the client side. Okay. Mostly when, as I told you, when like a caller's manager value is not there on the form, so how you are going to fetch it? So display business rule will execute, and it will add it. It will store that value of users manager in G underscore scratchpad variable, and on when you are writing client scripts, you can directly use that. Okay, so here you can see example I have given. So when how to define G underscore scratchpad variable, you have to write var, that is defining the variable. Then you will write G underscore scratchpad dot. After dot, you can give anything. So right now I am just using manager. Okay, so I have created this G underscore scratchpad dot manager variable. Okay, now on this business rule, we will have this user.manager. Okay, we will glide record and we will get that value, whatever value we are getting. So let's say I am getting user.manager, so I am storing it in G underscore scratchpad.manager. Now it is available for client side to access it. So when we are writing client script, in that we can directly use this G underscore scratchpad.manager, and it will have the users manager value. Okay. So these are the five questions that that I have explained it, because these are very important. You can say it will be asked 90 to 95% chances are there that interviewer will ask this, and will ask to define with the use case. Okay, so use cases are very important when you are giving ServiceNow interviews. You have to explain it, give the explanation. What is it? Okay, then give one example. So that will create one very good image that you just you are just not telling the definition. You know how it is working in the service now. Okay. Now I will be creating some other parts for this service now interview questions. You can go and have a look on that also. Thanks.